Hey guys, I'm Phil.
And I'm Spencer.
And we got a chance to sit down and play the entirety of Hyperlight Drifter's PAX build on our live channel.
And we also got a chance to give an interview with Alex Preston and Bo Blythe, two of the creators of the game. Hope you guys enjoy it.
There we go.
Hello. There we go.
Hello. Oh, we hear you. All right. Woo. So we figured it out. We had some weird tech issues, but hello. Why don't you introduce yourself to the folks at home so we can not take up too much of your precious time.
No, not precious at all. My time is worthless.
Of course.
I'm Alex Preston. I created Hyperlight Drifter. I'm here with Bo, who also helped me create Hyperlight Drifter and hyper.
So hyper.
All right, so we've got several people so far who've come in during the first hour and have said that we need to give you the what's up. Specifically, we've got Bad Coyote. He says you know him. We have Whitefire and like Normal Guy 420 Blunt Lord or something was his name.
I like Normal Guy 420 Blunt Lord. That guy sounds great.
He's probably having a really good time. But yeah, so Alex, you are the creator, as you've said, of Hyperlight Drifter. This was originally because you. Uh-oh.
It's not working.
Oh,
hey.
No, you're good. You're good.
You're good? We hear you again?
I'm good.
We haven't lost you yet. We're good.
I was trying to put it on the speaker so Bo could hear it also.
Okay.
Okay. Wait. Yeah, let me. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Let's see. Is this working?
Yes, we hear you. So.
Okay.
You're very quiet.
Oh, very quiet. We can get like really close to the mic and be kind of loud, like, "Hey, everybody! Wow,
how's it going?"
Yeah. Just overblow the mic.
Yeah,
that's probably good. We're gonna deafen everybody on stream.
Okay.
So you two, Alex, you are the creator of Hyperlight. This is very much your brainchild. Bo, I believe you've been with Alex from the beginning, working on this as like a programmer designer. How have things changed since the very successful Kickstarter?
Wait.
How have things changed since the Kickstarter?
Okay, so
How have things changed?
Oh, how have things changed? Well, gosh, well, we hired a bunch of people.
Yeah,
Nice.
That's a big one.
we hired a team, so Bo is on full time instead of me like paying him randomly when I could. And Casey's on full time and Teddy's on full time, and then we have a couple of freelance dudes doing sound work and animation and stuff.
Yeah, Akash.
Yeah, Rich.
Rich.
Sean.
Paul Veer.
Paul Veer's doing some sprites once in a while.
wow. So I suppose at this point, I feel a lot of the people who've seen us play this game for the past hour kind of have a fairly good grip on the basics of this game. We've shown off the Horde Mode, we've shown off the story mode. What kinds of things can people look forward to that they maybe haven't seen today?
I think a lot. I mean, what we showed there is a very tiny slice of.
Maybe a 16th of 1/5.
Yeah, it's a very small slice of what we have planned out for the game as far as the story goes, even as far as the challenge mode stuff goes. Yeah,
enemies. We got on bosses yet.
Yeah, we haven't even touched on the bosses. We haven't.
Just have a few weapons.
There's like a couple of weapons in there. We have a lot of different items in there planned. A lot of different. We want to have different enemies in every area.
Yeah.
And we can do that because of the animation style and the way that we're programming it. So there's a lot to look forward to. There's tons of different stuff. Very, very varied.
Yeah.
Oh, so Umeko in chat has a really good question. How much of the game would you say is done so far?
I don't know.
Like.
I can't give you a percentage, but I'll say the framework is there. A lot of the systems are there. We're always going to be refining those systems. We're always going to be touching that stuff up. But that stuff's in place so we can concentrate on content now. So that's what we've been doing.
The fun part.
The fun stuff is it's time for the fun stuff. We've gotten a lot of the editor stuff in there. Again, framework is solid now where we can just build on top of that and really focus.
So one thing that everybody so far has come in and has been asking is when is this game going to happen? As far as I know, you guys, there's no release date for it. You guys have been very much when it's done kind of wait and see approach. Is that still the case?
I think that's a healthy way to work. I mean, we
Yeah.
certainly have the budget for it, right?
Yeah, I think for us, we want to make a good game.
Yeah, and that's all that matters.
Yeah, that's the ultimate goal. And releasing a few months earlier or 6 months earlier or whatever isn't going to change our minds on that.
If we finish it 6 months earlier, we feel good about it. Then it'll come out then. But
but it's a matter of.
But games take a lot of time.
I think I put that that Miyamoto quote in the Kickstarter update when I said that we're going to keep the release date kind of open, which is a good game is good once, or a delayed game is eventually good, but a bad game is bad forever. So we'll whenever it's done. Not to say it'll be a Duke Nukem kind of thing, because we don't have the money for that.
Yeah,
but
it'll be. It's fine. Just go for 10 years, whatever.
Yeah, 20 years. It'll be out in 20 years. Ultimately, we want to feel good about the product that we put out there.
So one of the rewards for backing the game on the Kickstarter you guys had was access to the beta, and so Jim Z in chat knows if maybe you have a more locked down release window on that beta for the backers.
Yeah, so the beta, we're planning for a summertime beta. It's going to be a short kind of thing, more like what Diablo did, with it had like 3-day access or something like that, because I think we can do that on Steam. So we're still planning it out, but the idea is to put it out there sometime in the summer, where we can get a lot of feedback from all the backers who back that specific tier and beyond.
So one thing that we've gotten asked a couple times in chat that unfortunately I didn't know 100% the answer to was release consoles. As far as I know, you guys just announced you'd be shipping on Xbox One, but you've also said previously, I believe, there is PS4, Vita, and PC. Is that correct? And Wii U. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. Is there anything else in there that I've missed, or is that the lockdown launch platforms?
Those are the major platforms. I mean, the reason why we're able to release on several major platforms like that is because Yo-Yo Games, the guys who make Game Maker, are really pushing hard to make their software middleware for these platforms.
Okay.
So they announced for Sony that they're middleware, and that's great. And they're actively pursuing other avenues. So that means that we don't have to spend a shitload of money and time because they're doing that bulk work.
Okay, so people in chat are, of course, Cyforce 2 is very excited about the Wii U launch. But Luigi IX is sad about the no PS3 version. Is there the potential for a current gen release, or are you guys trying to focus on what is coming up?
I think whatever feels right at the time. Hold on, they're yelling at us.
Uh-oh.
Oh, man.
Big announcements.
Uh-oh, okay. So we can, I guess...
No, we're okay. Just hold on.
All right.
Oh, this is just like being at PAX. This is what I wanted.
We're doing the authentic PAX experience.
Getting stuff puddles. No, eventually we'd like to be on any platform we can, but right now we're focused on the PC release first, and the other major platforms we announced, and down the line, if we can do it, we will.
So we have a few more questions in chat that are coming. No Ouya version is one of them. That sounds like you guys are in there with that one. Umeka wants to know, have there been any Drifter cosplayers so far? That's something that seems like it'd be a...
Yeah, I actually tweeted it. There's a Drifter cosplayer here.
Oh wow, that's fantastic.
Oh, nice.
So there's that, and this is as far as we've talked about. You mentioned before when we were speaking that there have been a few public-facing kind of demos for the game. You had a few in LA, because if I remember correctly, you guys are part of Glitch City. But this is the first major public playing of the game. What has the response been like, and have you learned anything from the event that maybe you hadn't thought of before?
Bo, you want to take it?
I'm sorry, I missed half the question.
Oh, he was just asking what was the experience of our first public demo, and what did we take away from it?
Oh,
like the giant robot demo?
People are... well, I wasn't there for the giant robot.
Oh, you weren't there for the giant?
No.
Okay, so...
But, PAX, the reception has been fantastic. Everyone's, super freaking excited about it. I was just talking to Alex, but, how does it feel like, your first game and people are asking you to sign T-shirts and, postcards and stuff, and, it's really amazing, how excited people are, and so that's really inspiring.
Yeah, I think for us, even on that first public demo out at Giant Robot in LA, the feedback was always very positive. We got some critical stuff, which is great, but overall, it's been pretty.
I mean, nothing's ever gonna be perfect.
No, nothing's ever going to be perfect, and we don't want it. We don't want it to be at a point where it's like, oh well, I don't even want to talk to you about the things that I find wrong with it. Like we want to make the game as good as we can, but overwhelmingly, it's been a very positive experience. So I think all the people who've played it, and the fans, and the backers, and whatever else, they've been kind of amazing. And I was surprised by that because usually you expect something darker from the internet.
Right. Yeah. Kickstarter turned into an angry mob. And
Right.
everybody, once they give you money, they're like, I own you. But everybody's been super nice. So.
Yeah. Everybody's been really, really great. So I can't complain.
Yeah, I was gonna say you guys had announced that you'd mentioned it a little bit briefly earlier that you were. There wasn't really a delay, but you guys were saying, hey, it'll come out when it comes out. And everybody was really positive about it, which I was very surprised and pleased with.
Yeah.
But I was going to say, but Balloon Watcher Michael in the chat brought up a question we had earlier. So we're playing this build that you've provided us with, and the one that's at PAX. There is co-op in the single-player campaign chapter. Is that going to be in the full game? Like, will there be a co-op feature going through the campaign?
Yeah, like
Jump in, jump out, co-op.
Yeah, that's one of the main features of the game.
So we have that aspect, and one thing I'm curious about is you've included this Horde mode in the game. What kind of modes are you trying to launch with? Is it just gonna be this campaign of Horde, or are there other things that you're juggling about in your mind? Or can you say anything about that yet?
No, I mean, so we have the main campaign, and then we have the challenge mode. And the challenge mode is going to be whatever goofy shit we feel like putting in there, like boss rush stuff or any other silly ass room that we're like, yeah, that sounds great. Why don't we do it? And it's like,
Tic-tac-toe.
yeah, tic-tac-toe or whatever the hell, whatever doesn't fit in the campaign and we feel like is worthwhile as even a small experience, we'll put in the challenge mode.
So Docsburns SSC2 in chat has a question that's also a compliment. Says, how does it feel to have stated, I want to make this dream game and receive such huge financial and public support? Also, they're so happy that you guys are releasing when it's ready, not when the release date is.
I mean, it feels pretty great. It's pretty amazing. I can't complain about it at all. I can only thank the people that have...
You can't complain about your dreams coming true?
No, I can't complain about my dreams coming true. It's pretty incredible to have such a positive group of fans already. The game is not even out. I mean, the Kickstarter had fans the first couple of days, which to me is, I'm blown away by that. I'm a very secretive person when it comes to my own work, and to have it so well received is a very different experience for me. So because I don't show anything to people usually. So yeah, it's been really fantastic. That's fantastic in the greatest sense, because really fantastic means like unimaginable and fantasy basically, and it is basically fantasy become reality.
So there are a few more questions here in chat that we've had a few questions actually now that I think back to it about pricing on the game. I believe you guys have you set an official price, but I remember somewhere you guys were saying you wanted to shoot for the typical like $15-$20 kind of price range.
Sounds about right.
That's about the range we're going for.
Okay. And then Quickmaster wants to know if you guys will be releasing the game on early access at any point, or if that's something you've given consideration to.
I think because it's a story-based game, you kind of want to stay away from that, because we don't want to ruin anything. So, like we want the story to be the optimal experience, and so we'll have test players and stuff, and of course our backers will see an early version of the game. But if we release it to the public before those impactful moments are as impactful as we really want them to be, people will get a different experience, and so I don't think early access is gonna happen.
Yeah, I don't think it fits. I don't think, at least for the story mode, it fits for the type of game we're making. Like maybe we make some part of the game early access. Maybe, but it's for our game. It doesn't. I don't think it winds up that well with it. Like it works for something like Rust, which is constantly in development and is an open world thing. But this has
works for like multiplayer or for roguelikes or for things that.
This has a specific story with surprises.
Yeah.
So we have a few questions we've had in chat here. Online co-op, yay, no, maybe?
So that was actually one of the stretch goals. We talked about having some online co-op in the challenge mode, But I don't know if we're actually going to do that now, because online, turns out it's a huge pain in the ass.
I've heard that before, yeah.
It costs a fair amount of money and time, and we'd have to hire somebody dedicated to networking. And it was in the plan originally. And looking at it after over the past few months, it seems like we would use our resources better in other areas than putting just online in there for anything, because it's more of a story-based game. It's more of a character-based game, and playing on the couch with another person is more satisfying to us in the co-op mode anyway. So.
Okay.
We would love to do it if we had, a lot more time and money, but it's a huge undertaking, even for a side mode.
So actually, Shabby Orange 101 in chat has a really good question. After the release and depending on the reception, do you have any plans to flesh out on some of the ideas you felt you couldn't add before the release? I think that we could also look at this from the eyes of, was there anything that you think the Kickstarter necessarily made possible that you wouldn't have gotten to do were not so successful?
Yeah, make a bigger game.
Yeah, it's much larger than we planned.
I mean, we
originally.
hired. Again, it was going to be Bo doing some things and finishing up the engine, and then me doing a lot of art for a bunch of months.
Doing all the art.
Yeah, doing all of the art.
That's a rough gig.
So now, we're able to do a lot more enemies and more areas, and again, we hired a full team, so it's expanded the game quite a bit more than originally was going to be possible.
So I've actually one question that I am personally curious about is, you guys have kind of teamed up with a lot of different games and devs and stuff like that, where you're throwing Drifter into other people's projects. What has that been like, this experience? If you guys have become one of the biggest, I guess, most watched indie games of right now, like what has that been like, and how has that been, how's that kind of changed and reflected upon you?
I don't know. There's some campaigns that wanted to use our Drifter, our guy, because they found it inspiring, and if their campaign is rad, then why not? I feel like smaller developers supporting smaller developers is great. That's the difference between AAA and independent people, is you get to actually interact with the community on a much more personal basis. That's what Glitch City is a couple of independent developers, a crew of independent developers just hanging out, talking about games, making games, and sharing ideas. So why the hell not? We don't have a bunch of lawyers saying, no, you can't touch that IP. They're open ideas in a lot of ways, and as long as everybody's good about it, they're not being assholes about it, then sure. And we like and respect each other's work, then why not share?
So there is, I'm going to take a question from chat and kind of meld it. It was originally Doc Burns SSC2s, but so it says that everybody, whenever you talk about Hyperlight Drifter, everybody is always very quick to say, oh, the game is very, very pretty. Like, it's a very pretty game. Do you feel like there are some elements that aren't quite as readily, I guess, that aren't quite as obvious that you feel you're really proud of?
Oh yeah, that's all Bo right there.
Oh, what?
Feel.
Oh.
No, I mean, if you haven't played the game, you don't feel it.
I obsess over effects and junk, and I hope that in the long run, in the overall product, that helps. But it's often something that's overlooked. But it's a lot of fun.
I think feels super important to a game. If it feels good to actually play and control and interact with the world, then it'll make you want to do that more. And Bo, I mean, if you played Samurai Gun, you understand the kind of feel that he's going for in his games or any of his other games, and he's a master at it, especially in Game Maker. And that's no exception here. And I think anybody who's played it has said, yeah, it feels really good to play this game. And for me, I obsess about that stuff too. Not quite as much as Bo, because I have a lot of things to concentrate on, but it's really important to us that it feels good to play, and that's something that you cannot actually really describe as well as just experiencing it. So
yeah. So actually, I have a question for Bo directly. Bo, previously you've launched a lot of multiplayer games. You have Samurai Gun, which we mentioned before, and you've had earlier works like Zero Space. And what have you taken from that realm as like a local kind of multiplayer guru, I suppose, and what have you brought to Hyperlight Drifter from that kind of pedigree?
Well, while working on those games, I kind of thought of it like a development style. One is like a rule where it's like every time you add an element to the game, you should make sure that it interacts with every other element, because you can create like, you know, more emergent situations and stuff like that. So one thing I really like to do in Hyperlight is how we have a bunch of different weapons you can use, but I'd really like for the weapons to interact with each other to create interesting combos. And we've got like some enemy groupthink systems where like you know, if you get a pack of wolves, they'll start attacking like the other enemies, and you know, there's kind of like this like little you know, this biosphere going on. Like, you know, you just try to add all these elements that you like didn't expect, and then try to polish what is there as much as you can. Like try to I don't know, I'm like really purist in like my design sensibilities. Like I try to like remove a lot of stuff and then try to make what's there like just as good as it possibly can be. And while Hyperlight is a much bigger game, like I'd still like to, you know, we're all about like trying to make the best product we can. So yeah, I don't know. We'll like, even though people are saying like, oh, the sword feels great and like, oh, the combat feels great, like we're all still gonna like go back and be like, how can this, you know, feel better, or what can we do more? And you know, yeah, I guess that's pretty much it. Is try to push what you know, what we can.
Yeah, I think he's talking about stripped down design, and for us, for most of it, we're not full RPG where you're building up shitloads of stats or anything like that.
Yeah, like used to have numbers popping out of enemies, and
we got rid of it because it didn't necessarily fit with the aesthetic or the game play style. Yeah. Not to say that we don't have any kind of upgrading systems or any kind of skills that you...
something more obvious and more impactful than, oh, now you do 2 more damage and a 4 comes out instead of a 2. Like, yeah, I don't know. That stuff doesn't mean anything to me, so...
And it's about streamlining a design and getting, like Bo was saying, maximum potential out of that so that it feels as good as possible. And we're such a small team anyway, we can't make a massively complicated game like Dark Souls or anything like that that has tons of stat sheets, and so we'd rather concentrate on what we are good at and what we can make, and make it the best possible game we can.
So that's, in talking to you guys, that seems like something you guys are very, very focused on, is you want to make the best game that your team can, not necessarily like the best game for everybody, but you guys want to deliver a very specific kind of experience.
You can't please everybody.
I mean, that's, you know, you asked earlier, what is it like to be in the spotlight of like so many other developers and stuff, and or even just like in the whole community. Like a lot of it is like this pressure you feel because everybody's expecting their own kind of dream game of like what this is going to be, or their own view on it, and it's like for at least some people out there, it's not going to be exactly what they expect, but you know, we can't be bothered by that. Like so long as like we're happy with the product, and you know, we're you know, making it hard.
In the Kickstarter, I stated I wanted to make my dream game, and that's and it's become more of a collaborative process throughout, where we're all having input on it and all making it a better game. But it's a small team, and you see the problems with larger projects or major movies or anything like that, where an entire studio is getting involved and every executive has to have say in every decision. And if we were to listen to everything that every fan had to say about this criticism or that criticism,
it'd be stretched thin.
Use the old metaphor of spinning cooks in the kitchen. And for us, it's about making a very pure game, a very pure experience. And we have to trust in our own abilities and trust in our own taste. So we're going to make a game. We're going to make a game that we love, and we hope that other people love it as well. And we've seen a good response so far, so I think we're on the right track.
So I'm going to combine a couple of questions that have been asked here in chat. I don't want to make you stay too long, so I don't know if you wanted to go after this one, but they've asked very specifically, and then more generally, what are your influences for Hyperlight Drifter, and then what are your influences specifically for the art of Hyperlight Drifter?
Influences? Do you have any influences?
Well, I think you should answer that one.
Yeah, I guess so. My influences are a lot of things. That's kind of a pretty broad question. As far as specific games go, a lot of, I mean, I expressed it in the Kickstarter, Link to the Past, obviously. Any of those old SquareSoft RPGs, over the head, overhead style stuff like Secret of Mana, and more recently, a lot of stuff like Dark Souls, a lot of stuff like the more modern Diablo 2 rather than 1, which was kind of flat. But taking the idea of an older style game and pushing it into the modern era was really appealing to me. And I know that some people have attempted that and have been successful at that, and you see that with even the new Zelda on the 3DS, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
But it's still pretty rooted in Link to the Past, and I don't think it's moved that far beyond that formula. For us, we want to do something a little more, so inspiration is drawn from everything and anything, and I like a lot of great anime, old anime. Old anime is fucking awesome. Sorry if I can't curse, but
no, go for it.
Old Tech and old Gundam, and I mean all of the old Miyazaki movies are fantastic, and just like the vibe that you get from that, and the sound that you have from those old shows, and even the film grain and like the color palettes, and like you get all these bizarre neon colors from these weird wished-on futures, and it's like the aesthetics there are great. So there's a lot of things that influence me.
Yumeko in chat wants you to tell them your favorite anime, which I suppose is a...
My favorite anime? Shit. I really, really like Gurren Lagann.
Heck yeah.
That's a ridiculous cartoon, and it's really good. And Old Lupin the Third.
Ooh, nice. Alright, so I don't want to keep you guys too long. We'll let you get back to showing Hyper Light Drifter. You guys are at PAX East. You are in the Indie Mega Booth, correct?
That's correct.
Yep.
Alright, well, thank you so much, Alex Bo, for hanging out with us, for talking to the fans, for letting us show off Hyper Light on the channel. And do you guys have anything you want to leave all the people watching with?
Yep. Thanks for playing.
Yeah.
Thanks for your excitement.
Yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks for the support. And we're gonna keep making the game and keep releasing stuff on our devlog and updating stuff and showing people fun stuff.
And so people can follow the development of this game. You guys are at heart-machine.com, correct?
Correct.
Right.
And that's the devlog. It's also where people can go to back, I guess, late back the game, get basically the pre-order system in.
Yep.
All right, well, thank you guys so much. Enjoy the rest of PAX. If you guys are at Boston, make sure to go check out Hyper Light Drifter. Other than that, keep it locked and we'll be around. Later, guys.
Thanks, guys.